Welcome back. This is Create by Fire, and this is monthly monetization. In this video, we're going to go video by video for everything that was created 2 months ago and go over the 30-day growth, as well as everything created last month and go over the initial stats. We'll also be going over channel stats as a whole, the Amazon affiliate link stats, and the trajectory based on the current growth. So let's get into it. All right, so we're at that 6-month milestone. So 6 more months till we hit the full year, which is when we need to have the full 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours. And so we still got quite a ways to go, but we'll take a look at the February videos first. And really, we don't need to actually open anything up because I went through earlier and nothing has changed on any of the videos except for I think one had one additional view. So we can pretty much skip past those. All right, so moving into the March videos, the first one we'll take a look at here actually is a February. Just for reference, this is the Heroes of Hammerwatch 2, episode 15. Only got 5 views and apparently no watch time hours. But then if we switch over to the highlights, it got 4 views and 2 watch time hours. So that's pretty significant, especially compared to the views. But it did lose 1 subscriber. This is probably another one of those losses of people that aren't really, looking for gaming videos or that sort of thing, and they don't want to see the notifications. And so they just unsubscribe. Following that, we have episode 16, which got 11 views and 2.8 watch time hours. And based on, what my trend has been in terms of number of views at that point per video, we are above it significantly, but that's just because my average has gone down. Following that, we had the highlights for episode 16, which bumped up even further with views. We're up to 30 now. This is more towards what I used to get kind of on average per view or per video. But then we got 2 watch time hours, which is pretty good. And then from there, we're on episode 17. We dipped down again to 7, but we still hang on to some reasonable watch time hours with 0.9. And the highlights, though, brings it back up to 23 with 0.8 watch time hours. And again, another subscriber, this time in the positive direction, of course, which is good. Help counteract those losses. I have noticed, generally speaking, that these Heroes of Hammerwatch videos are doing better for the channel overall, like just comparatively to maybe previous performance. So it does seem like a general positive for the channel. Moving on, episode 18, we had 11 views and 0.3 watch time hours, so a bit lower on the watch time hours, but kind of mid on the views. And then on the highlights, the watch time hours bump up again, and the views are actually a little bit down from the number from the regular. So, and this is another trend I kind of generally have been seeing is like overall the highlights do seem to be doing better in terms of number of views and watch time hours. I don't have the exact stats on that to compare across the board, but that's the general feel that I get from it. Is that the uncut versions are just generally doing a little bit worse, but maybe I'll get the stats for that to do a full comparison. From there, we have the monthly monetization for month 5. That was released March 10th. And that, it did okay. 18 views. Now the trend has bumped up. So you can see that now it's falling into the range of the trend as opposed to like these ones, which were, kind of going above it. So now we're in the middle of it with 0.5 watch time hours. And then we're back into Heroes of Hammerwatch videos. I had quite a few of those throughout this section in March. So only 3 views, 0.5 watch time hours, which is okay given the number of views. And then of course we have another bump up again in total number of views for the highlights for episode 19. We have 11 and then, but only 0.3 watch time hours. So a little bit low there. Episode 20 was a special kind of episode because it was the first time it wasn't just me and my wife playing. We had me, my wife, and my friend Adam. So that in general was a little bit different. It did do better. I don't know if that's because Adam joined or if it was just, by chance, but it did ultimately do better. So this one was 25 views and 4.7 watch time hours, which is pretty significant. So maybe we'll have to have him come on more often. So that was, in general, though, that was a pretty good episode. I did enjoy making that one, playing and also editing it. The highlights didn't do well at all. Only 9 views and 0.1 watch time hours. So that was kind of interesting. But it is something to note there. And then the last episode that I put out for Heroes of Hammerwatch was episode 21. And that did 6 views, 0.5 watch time hours. And the highlights was 15 and 2.8. So that one's still pretty solid. This one wasn't with Adam. Episode 22 is with Adam. I haven't put it out yet. So we'll see how that one goes. I just haven't gotten around to publishing it just yet. It is fully edited though. I kind of was switching gears to trying to pump out a lot of the backlogged videos I had for Warzone multiplayer and zombies for Black Ops 6. So that's what it kind of shifts to now. So at this point, I had only had a multiplayer and a highlights for multiplayer out, and now I'm getting Warzone and zombies and other multiplayers. So here's the first episode of Warzone. It got 5 views and no watch time hours, and then 1 view and no watch time hours for the highlights. So obviously not good. Then following that, we had zombies. So we had 4 views and 0.2 watch time hours, but then the highlights got 72 views, but only 1.1 watch time hours. So this is actually kind of interesting to see, is that how, it got, I don't know why this did so well, but it got, a huge amount of views, but only 1.1 watch time hours. I mean, compare that to, hopefully I can remember where I'm at here in this list. I guess compare it to this one, right? Which had half the views and twice the watch time hours, right? So, and some of these, it's hard to compare some of these things, but it is just interesting to see. Where's the other one? There was one in here, this one, right? 4.7 watch time hours, but it had 25 views, right? So this one had 3 times the views and 1/4 of the watch time hours for the zombies highlights. Yeah, here it is. I should probably close a bunch of these out so I can keep track of where I'm actually at. It's good enough for now. Right, so from there we had multiplayer again. So switched back into doing some multiplayer. 1 view, no watch time hours, and then the highlights was 9 views and 0.7 watch time hours. I do enjoy doing these Black Ops videos. They don't perform as well, it seems, as the Heroes of Hammerwatch 2. I mean, the Zombies one had 72 views, but it still didn't have the watch time hours that really support it, right? In comparison, a lot of the Heroes of Hammerwatch videos I was seeing 2 hours, right? And then you get to the Zombies one and it's, it's 1.1. It's not like it's bad, at least, for the channel as a whole. But it, 72 views it took to get 1.1 versus, the other ones, which only took a few views. I don't know. It doesn't quite equate. Then we had a Warzone, another episode of Warzone, got no views, no watch time hours. The highlights got 21 and 0.4, and a subscriber. So that's kind of cool. This is another one of those examples that show, pretty obviously that the highlights, for whatever reason, do better. It's like people don't even bother to click the regular video. They'll just click the highlights. I don't know. I making guesses, there's not enough data to really be certain on anything. But from there, then we got a multiplayer episode 3, 8 views and 0.2 watch time hours. And then for the highlights, 6 views and 0.2 watch time hours. Same watch time hours, a few less views. Generally speaking, both of them aren't that great. But then from there, the last set we had for March was Warzone episode 3. We had 3 views, 0.2 watch time hours, and then 15 views and 0.3 watch time hours. So the general trend, as I already mentioned, Heroes of Hammerwatch 2 is doing fairly good, right, for the channel. The Black Ops videos are kind of meh, but I have a whole bunch of them backlogged, so I'm trying to get them pushed out. And so but I do enjoy making the Black Ops videos, as well as the Heroes of Hammerwatch, but I like to have variety as well. So at some point, probably in April, there'll be some. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm trying to get into some Switch games as well to try to get some of those out there. The one thing I like about Switch games versus like Heroes of Hammerwatch and Black Ops is that Black Ops has events that, are time relative. So a lot of these videos that I'm putting out are way in the past. And so they're not really, it's like a Christmas event, and they're just now watching it. It's like, you're 4 months too late. Right. But and then we have like Heroes of Hammerwatch, which isn't really event driven, but it has a lot of patches and stuff. Right. So when I have a patch that comes out and I'm talking about patch notes, if it's like 2 months ago, it's not going to really make a lot of sense to be talking about it. So I try to keep those relatively up to date when I do them. Then I can push them out right away and they'll be relative to the actual patches that are coming out. Whereas with Switch games, they're pretty static, right? So you can just kind of play it at any time. I could have played it 6 months ago, post the video today, and it's just the same as if I did, played it yesterday and posted the video today, right? There's no real difference. So I'm going to kind of use those as my filler once I get to the point of actually having some of those back, built up. But yeah, so anyway, that was a little bit of a sidetrack there. But that is all the March videos. There actually aren't any April videos yet, just because I've been kind of busy and I haven't pushed any out. I do have a few queued up, ready to go. Just need to like render them and push them out. So we'll talk about those ones on next month's. All right, so moving on to channel stats. I decided to do this slightly differently. So I have it actually set to just looking at March. And so we'll take a look at that first, and then we'll do kind of how we have been doing, which is the aggregate for the entire duration after that. So here we have average view duration of 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Just as a comparison, last month for the overall, the average view duration was 2 minutes and 51 seconds. So it's pretty clear that the trend is kind of going up for average view duration. So that's good. But of course, the average percent viewed compared to what it used to be a long while back, like back when I used to go over this in like October and November, and sorry, that not October, but November and December, the average viewed percent was something like 17% or something like that. Now it's 3.9, right? So it's far less, but the overall time viewed is going up, which basically means the videos are longer. People are going through less percentage of the video, but they're watching more of it, right? In terms of quantity of time. So 320 views for the month of March, which is pretty good. Watch time hours 24, which is very high, but a loss of 2 subscribers overall, which we're going to kind of go over some of that more later anyway. 15,000 impressions and 1.6% click-through rate, which is a bit higher than what my average is at the moment. So, right. And the best performing was episode 20, as we talked about earlier. And then the highlights right behind it. This is best performing in terms of, I think, views, or sorry, watch time hours. Right. Yeah. In terms of views, it would actually be the zombies. I'll actually click that. Right. So zombies, episode 1 there. That's that big spike there. All right. So let's go ahead and just take a look at it from the usual perspective, which is lifetime. Once again, I still have it set to views, and that's like a huge spike here. This actually is the record holder for a single day, which is interesting. Before that, was the original video, becoming a YouTuber. That was a big one, and there was a few other spikes in here. Some update videos. Yeah, basically the YouTube Chronicles, which I haven't done in a little while. But so switching back to watch time hours, which I think are a bit more relevant, we have Heroes of Hammerwatch videos. You can see right here that they're pretty popular. They do pretty well. That's the green one for episode 1. The red one here is episode 16. The orange one is episode 20. And the pinkish purplish one is episode 21 highlights. So all of the Heroes of Hammerwatch in general are where the additional watch time hours are really coming from. But comparing against last month, we had 6.5% average percent viewed. We're down to 5.2%, so we're actually downtrending there. But like I said earlier, 2 minutes and 51 seconds for the average view duration. And so we're actually going up there, right? So we're at almost 3 minutes now. So take that for what it's worth, I guess. The number of views last month were 1,159. And on it, I kind of also started, calculating how much that is per month. So 5 months for that many views was 232 views per month. Whereas this month, we're sitting at 1,443, which is 241 views per month. So slightly trending upwards in terms of the number of views we're getting per month as well. We'll come back to watch time hours and subscribers later in the trajectory section. And then impressions, we have last month was 60,608, which is 12,000, a little over 12,122 impressions per month. And this month is 75,465, which is 12,578 impressions per month. So once again, we're kind of upticking there a little bit in terms of number of impressions. Now, a lot of that one could, in fact, maybe for the views as well, I think probably the biggest reason for the uptick in those is because there's just more videos in general, right? I put out a lot of videos in March, especially. And so I think, there's just that trend that's going up. 1.3%. Last month was also 1.3% for the click-through. And then, of course, we'll also take a look at the aggregate, which looks like this. So from this one, we can kind of look at it from the standpoint of views, number of views that we have. This is a little hard to tell because, there's so many ups and downs. It's kind of hard to see exactly where the trend line would be. But, here we're kind of like, we're sloping down and then we kind of go flat or down to 0-ish. And then we kind of start to slope back up and kind of go horizontal. And then we got a little bit of spike here, but then it shoots right back down. So I'm not sure exactly how to interpret that. I mean, we've seen that the number of views between, comparing February to March, it's gone up, but you can't super easily see that here. I mean, you can see it maybe a little, but yeah, we'll see how that progresses. Looking at watch time hours, this one, uh, pretty. I think there's a slight trend upward. Well, there's originally this trend down right here through December because there wasn't a lot of activity, and then it kind of started to slope back up, and we have this huge spike, which is always interesting to see, and then it kind of dies back off. So once again, a little bit hard to see what the trend is there exactly. I don't know if we can do subscribers. Subscribers, um, you can see that as I started doing gaming videos, right? So the gaming videos really didn't start until like the end of December. So like, boom, lost one, boom, lost one, boom, 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 right? So there's definitely a kind of a change in audience there. But generally speaking, more watch time hours as well, though. All right, so moving on to the Amazon affiliate links. So this is looking at March 1st through March 31st. And we got 11 clicks, right? So that brings us to 253 total. There weren't any purchases, so we're still at 33 ordered items. And in terms of earnings, obviously since there were no purchases, there were no earnings, which puts us at a total of $3.60 earned. If you've watched any of the previous videos, you know that I can't, that money doesn't actually hit my account because it has to be at least $10. So we'll wait to see how that progresses over time. And also, if you've seen the previous videos, you kind of know that there is some requirement to keep the account open, that there has to be a certain number of purchases per certain amount of time. I don't really know what those are. I forget I think it might be 3 purchases in 6 months or something. So we're right there, pretty close to the 6-month mark. I didn't start the affiliate links right away, but it was pretty early on. I will play a small clip real quick that I did last month just to give a little context of the kind of Steam giveaway or Steam key giveaway stuff that I talked about last month. After recording that part for the Amazon affiliate links, when I was editing, I kind of was thinking of how I can maybe give back a little bit because, I'm asking for purchases for the sake of, helping out the affiliate links so that it doesn't get closed. And what I came up with, for now at least, is so I have a lot of Steam keys, and I can, give those away basically. So the rough idea that I came up with is for every qualifying purchase that happens in March, I will put into the pool 5 keys and dish those out to people in the comments. So leave a comment, even if you don't make one of the purchases, it doesn't matter. Just leave a comment saying that you would like some of these Steam keys, and you'll kind of be put in to the list to be able to potentially get these keys, right? So I'll put in 5 into the pool for every purchase that's made, and we'll see how it goes between now and next month's video. So I'll talk about this again in next month's video to see, what happened and what the exact distribution plan will be for these keys. So as I said in the video, that clip, what happened? Well, there weren't any purchases, so there weren't any keys that were put into the pool, and there weren't any comments for, requesting keys. So it's still open. The plan of distribution, I didn't bother to really come up with it since since there were no purchases and, and no comments, there was not really a reason to plan for it. So we'll determine that later. I gave it a little bit of thought, maybe month via email of some kind. I don't really know. But I'll figure it out when there's actually something to mention about it. So we'll see how it looks next month. Once again, just to reiterate, if you want to help out, just simply click the link in the affiliate links, and you don't have to purchase those items. You can purchase anything within 24 hours on Amazon, and it will count towards it. So please do that if you want to help the channel out. It would be appreciated, but don't feel obligated. All right, and finally on to the current stats and trajectory. First, this is, I think, the first recording with my new blue Kirby hat, so there's that. I actually have a new Kirby shirt as well, but I don't have that on at the moment. So for subscribers, we have 50 out of 1,000, so that's 5%, and that's down 1 from last month's 51. So a little bit bobbing up and down still, not really making much progress there. On the other hand, for watch time hours, we're at 72 out of 4,000. So that's 1.80%. And that is up 17 hours from last month's 55. So that's a pretty big jump. Now, these stats are all over the course of 190 days. So based on that trajectory, for the subscribers, it will take 3,610 days to reach the watch time or the subscriber goal for to reach monetization. So that brings us to February 23rd of 2035, and comparing that to last month's, it was May 21st of 2033. So it's slowing down a little bit there. Definitely going to have to speed up on the subscriber gains if we're ever going to make it. And then for watch time hours, based on that trajectory, it is 10,366 days, which is August 23rd, 2053. And last month it was September 9th of 2056. So that drops another 3 years down. So we are making progress there. Still a long way to go. And this is the 6-month milestone here. So to get, we're at a 72 out of 4,000 for watch time hours, right? So in the next 6 months, we have to, of course, get 3,900 and whatever, right? Which is kind of goes with that these current stats are kind of useless to really talk about, but they're fun. But we'll have to get quite a bit more than what we have, more than 10 times what has been gotten in the first 6 months. 6 months we'll have to get in the next 6 months. So in fact, that would be probably like 50 times. I don't know exactly the math, but something like 50 times more in order to make it. And for subscribe, and that's for watch time hours. For subscribers, I don't know, 20 times more at least, or something like that. Anyway, it's still a long ways away from getting there, but just step by step, trying to make our way to that, those numbers. I do think in general that the more progress that I get to, the higher the numbers get to, like the number of subscribers, I think it'll naturally start to snowball. We have to get there in order to see it. But once we're at like, say, 500 subscribers, I think the numbers will go up substantially more each month, and we'll actually see real growth. So, or maybe I'm just hopeful. Either way, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to join me on my journey from zero to YouTube hero. This is Create by Fire.